Today we are learning the last individual vowel sound on the chart, and it's a little complicated. This sound is a bit difficult for many English learners, and it's one of the most difficult sounds to find. That's because of the placement in the mouth. And because of that placement, that's also why I call it the High Schwa. I don't think you'll find any other teacher call it that. That's my special name, and we're going to see why. So we can see here on the chart that this sound is positioned sort of between the U and the schwa sound, more or less. The reason I call it the High Schwa is because, to me, in my mouth, it feels like if I were to take the schwa in the middle and I sort of push it up onto the back of my tongue, but just the front of the back, if that makes sense. So imagine you have the front of your tongue, the middle of your tongue, the back of your tongue, okay? And this back here would not be in your throat, that would be down here. So this is where the U is, where the O is. We're gonna go a little bit farther forward, but not into the middle, okay? So there's the front of the front, the back of the front, which is also the front of the middle, back of the middle, which is also the front of the back. I know that might be a little confusing, but just stay with me. So if you were to try to do the sound on the front of the back of your tongue, take that schwa, just slide it up a little bit and back a little bit. And you should kind of feel like your tongue is maybe like you're trying to push the back of your tongue forward a little bit. And the rest of your tongue should be more down. It's really hard to do this with my hand, unfortunately, but that is why I call it the High Schwa, and it sounds like this. Schwa, High Schwa, U, U, They sound kind of similar, and if you can't hear the difference, let me know, because I can make a minimal pair recording for you to practice with. Now, a couple other things to know about this sound that might help you find it and produce it. Number one, the tongue is going to be kind of tense. So with the schwa sound, it was more relaxed unless you were pushing down to make that bowl shape. But here we definitely want more tenseness in the tongue, as I said, trying to sort of push the back of your tongue forward a little bit, and you should feel sort of a tightness. The last thing is with the lips. Now, like with the sound, this is optional. You don't have to do it to make the sound, but it can help, especially if you want to sound clearer. So that's actually the same motion, or very similar to the lips with the and not the rounding with the O or the U. If you do that with the High Schwa, it's not going to sound right. It will sound more like probably an U sound. Okay, so don't round the lips all the way, just sort of bring them up like with the sound. Now note that if you're still really having difficulty finding the sound, you can use the U sound, the O sound, and the schwa sound, to find the position using those as anchors. And so if you get a little too high, it might sound a little bit more like an U. If you get a little too far back, it might sound like an O. And if you get a little too far forward or down, it might sound more like a schwa. The biggest problem is that it will usually be too far forward or low, and it will sound more like a schwa sound. So definitely try to make sure you get it up and back, but not too far. Let's look at some example words and some spelling patterns. And this list of example words is going to be very useful because this is probably the least common vowel sound in general, but it is found in quite a few common words. So, one very common spelling pattern, and again, there are always exceptions, remember, always exceptions. But one common spelling pattern is O-O-K. For example, book, look, took, cook, shook, which is the past tense of shake. We have another common spelling pattern of sorts, which would be O-O-D or O-U-L-D, where the L is silent. There's no L sound. For example, good, would, should, could. So yes, the word would as in I would do it if I had time, and the word would as in this table is made of wood are pronounced exactly the same. And remember, in would, could, and should, the L is silent. It is just spelling. And a couple more random words that are very common: push, pull, put, foot. And lastly, we have the tongue twister for this lesson. Repeat after me. He would push good-looking wood and put them in cookbooks. He would push good-looking wood and put them in cookbooks. He would push good-looking wood and put them in cookbooks. Let me know if that one was difficult. I know you still probably have to practice this sound, but this tongue twister can definitely help. So we are now done with the individual vowel sounds, but we have 3 diphthong sounds to talk about. We'll start looking at those next time, and then we'll move on to the consonants. Please leave any questions or comments you have down below. Thank you very much for watching another English Hacks lesson, and I will see you guys in the next one.